one of my touching contents I have done. I think this was God set up. It was not planned. I did not plan, but God had planned it.
I was orphaned at the age of 5. I lost my parents a long time ago. I don't even have a photo of my mom, by the way.
Sorry about that. Can you imagine that I am touched like a lot of people? I mean, somebody sacrificing to leave his country and he is over here for charity.
Welcome to Grace on Board.
Hello world, welcome to my channel. It's Grace on Board, and on this day we are in capital of Iceland, Reykjavik, and I am so excited to be here. Here we are going to do a city tour and I'm sure you'll enjoy.
So I find Iceland quiet, a little bit chilly, but today is much better. And we're gonna stop our stop because we are really hungry. We're gonna set up for something to eat. So we're gonna stop over here for a piece of bite and then we proceed to our journey because we need to energize.
And so after we had a bite, we continued with our city tour. And did I tell you that the language the people of Iceland speak is called Icelandic? Well, I hope I will manage to master one word before I leave. So enjoy the tour.
Guess who I met in the streets of Iceland? My fellow Kenyan in the streets of Iceland, and guess what he's doing here? Let's find out. So I met Paul in the streets of Iceland, running a beautiful business over here, selling the African carvings and all that. And Paul from Kenya is here trying to make the ends meet, but we need to know the inspiration behind this kind of beautiful work, right? So Paul, in easier words, how did you find yourself in Iceland?
Well, I came to Iceland 20 years ago, exchange student, and got a job and worked for 2 years and stayed in Iceland. I was working for a children's charity.
Yes.
We went to where I come from, Kariobangi, Huruma there, and we established that. Then I quit that. Then we established mine here called T.S. Children.
T.S. Children.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Now that you mentioned children, does it have something to do with children or something?
Yes, basically we support orphans and widows. How we do it is we have built a school back in the village.
Oh, you have a school in the village.
Yes.
Wow.
We have built a school in Bondo since 2012. We've been operating now for 12 years. And we support orphans and vulnerable children to go to school. We pay everything for them. They normally have 2 meals a day. We support widows that make these things and sell for a living. So the little interest that we sell from here, we take these kids to school.
Can you imagine that I am touched like a lot of people? I mean, somebody sacrificing to leave his country and he is over here for charity. This is an amazing thing that you could ever do to yourself. Like, charity begins at home. He's trying to make ends meet here to feed the kids back in Kenya, and this is an amazing thing to do for the less fortunate. So I'm so inspired by your story. I have walked in all streets of the world, but in Iceland is the last place I would expect to meet a Kenyan. And we were just passing by and he just said hi, and we were so surprised, and it got me curious. What are you doing here? And looking upon the beautiful empire that he has set up here, it really means a lot. And behind me, as you can see, We have the chart. We have the, how do you call this one?
This is TS Children.
This is TS Children. We have a signage here. This one is a definition behind Paul's empire. These children back in Kenya, they are going to school, they are having food, they are having the basic needs, and because of you who have supported Paul in one way or the other through this business that he has set up here, or any other way you have supported Paul, believe me, you're putting a smile on the children's face somewhere in Africa. All right. So, and one more thing, Paul, you told us you came here in
2004.
2004. Wow. So you've taken quite some time here. So you know the rest of Iceland. Unlike us, we are new. We are so excited to be here, and we are just walking by. It's just an amazing, yeah. So if you're in Iceland, Reykjavik, right? Reykjavik, capital city of Iceland, you may need to come by and promote Paul, and all goes to the charity to Kenya to support the children so that they can have at least their basic needs, yeah. And do you have many Kenyans living here?
Yeah, we are more than 200 Kenyans.
More than 200 Kenyans living in Iceland and working here. Wow.
Most of us are citizens already.
Most of you are citizens.
Yeah.
Wow. This is interesting. I normally get excited whenever I meet a Kenyan abroad, another country. I mean, I'm like, what are you doing here, you know? And one of the positive comments that I've got from this meeting is that he is doing this for the less fortunate children, for them to have the basic needs. And it's not something that anybody will just wake up and decide to do. I must admit that this one is a calling. This is indeed a calling, yes? And it takes, do you have any challenges when you're trying to gather the funds for the kids or doing this calling? Did you have any challenges?
Yeah, in fact, when we started this, the biggest opposition we got was from other black people. I use black because other Africans, because they are very negative. They don't want us to help back home, and they say that we are exposing our poverty on the other side.
Okay, so
yet we are supporting our kids to go to school.
So people were saying like you're exposing.
We are exposing
people
how
back.
Poor we are.
Oh, how poor we are by coming out and doing charity, right? Wow, that was mean, because it's true, it's there, but how do we curb it? How do we curb poverty in Africa? You do your part, and charity, I always believe that charity begins at home. And this is what you did, and I must congratulate you that you have done something that is putting a smile to young souls, touching lives, and that is the best thing one could do in the life. I mean,
in fact, 5 years ago, we brought a football team to Iceland. The team that you see. These kids we found them when they were only 3 years. Some of them could hardly talk. These kids had never traveled 50 kilometers from the village in 13 years. So the first time these kids went to Nairobi, the first time these kids are taking a flight, the first time they came to Iceland here. Well, some of the negativity that I'm talking about was if somebody is too negative to you, you show them the positive side.
You show them the positive side if they're negative.
Also doing this, there are people that talk to us, feel that because we are black people, or maybe we are Africans, we are supposed to be helped. But you standing up here and saying that I don't need your money, I can sell whatever these women are doing, we can be able to take care of ourselves. We don't have to go to Washington or London or maybe come here to beg. There are things that we can do for ourselves. So we have built a school. Somebody else can be able to build a football pitch. Somebody else can be able to build a gym, and we raise ourselves. What is it that we are following? Made in London is so beautiful, more than made in Komba or made in. So this is us. So we brought those kids for those people that see us, that negativity. So
exactly.
We also do things for ourselves.
Exactly. So you are like a team.
No, I'm just by myself.
He's just by himself, gathering funds for less fortunate kids back in Kenya, and he has set up a school for the kids to get education, and he even managed to fly some of the kids here in Iceland to come and participate in the activities. Isn't that an interesting thing to do, you know? I mean, I must applaud you. I'm so proud of you, Paul. I've met you today, but I must say I'm so proud of you. This is, I don't know how to explain it. In my life,
this school,
Yes.
if you see our logo, this logo here,
yes,
you see is for God and my country.
for God and your country. And one thing, Paul, one question for you. I see you have a map of Africa. I mean, map of Kenya here. So, what does it mean with this map?
This map,
in this banner.
This map shows our location where we are. The people normally know Kenya
Yes.
in terms of towns.
Yes.
We are in Bondo.
You're in Bondo.
Or Gotagulu
Uh-huh.
sublocation.
Yes.
This is 1.5 hours from Kisumu.
1.5 hours from Kisumu. Kisumu is
just
somewhere
here by the
there.
lake.
Yes.
Yeah. So people know Nairobi.
Yes.
People know Masai Mara.
Uh-huh.
But by putting our location,
Yes.
so people know exactly where you are.
Yes.
So if you want to come and see our school, you can be able to know exactly where we are. Remember, part of the thing that people used to say that this is a lie. I've been told several times that this is a Photoshop.
Yeah, they say it's a scam.
This is a scam, yeah.
They say.
So we put our location, we put our address, and we
Yes.
can tell you to go to that place.
Uh-huh.
We also do exchange programs.
Yes.
We have young people that normally come from Iceland and
Yes.
Europe to go and
Yes.
work in our school for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. They also work in the nearby dispensary.
Yes.
That is organized by our charity.
Yes.
So every year we have about 6 or 7 kids going to work at our school.
Wow.
And just for them to be able to see that, somebody from Iceland
Yes.
went to that school, so the school is not a Photoshop. It is there, it exists.
It is there. It indeed exists. Wow. Oh, this is a great story. It's a great inspiration. So, did you just wake up one day and decide that you want to do this, or what? What is the main reason to do this?
Well, the thing is, I was orphaned at the age of 5.
Oh.
I lost my parents a long time ago. I don't even have a photo of my mom, by the way.
Sorry about that.
Growing up in a family of 5, our second brother was mentally sick. Well, he passed on some years back, 1994. Well, I saw how we struggled in the house.
Yes.
And I always said, if I get an opportunity, what do you want to do? At the age of 12, my older sister became pregnant. And I thought that, no, this is so touching. So I always say to myself, if I get an opportunity, what will I do? Well, when I came to Iceland, people encouraged me. Now that you're in a Western country, why don't you just live your life, good life, and say, no, there is somebody. There is somebody in the village that is my sister. So we wanted to give back. So I started following up, like, how can I get something that we can be able to give back to the community?
Yes.
So I got an opportunity to work with an organization here called ABC. We went and established a project at Oruma, the Redeemed Gospel Church, and within 7 months they'd already kicked me out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Kicked me out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that is a long
story for another day.
For a story for another
Yes.
day. But then I always believe that if God gives you a calling, the calling is not yours. The calling is for God's
Yes,
people.
exactly.
When Moses was given a calling, the
Yes.
calling wasn't for him. It
Yes.
was for the people to get free.
Yes.
So I decided to relocate to the village. And we started the project. And now we have a school.
And now we have a school. And it's not just a school, it's a two-story. And wow, that is not just a school, but
The small
a big
one,
school.
the
Yes,
small
the small one
is the ECD.
ECD for kindergarten. And that's the primary. And then they have a school bus.
We have a school bus as
Wow.
well. All that is bought by whatever you see here.
And what is the name of your charity fund?
Is
TS
TS
Children.
and Youth Aids.
TS Children
Yeah.
and Youth Aid.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
wow.
this, our motto is
Yes.
for good in my country.
Yes.
This is built in the village. God gives you a calling.
God gives you a calling, you have to
Answer.
obey God's calling.
Answer.
Exactly. So if you are out there and you do have a calling and you are ignoring your calling, God is coming to you. You need to follow your calling, and because I believe everybody has a talent and has a calling of a particular thing, all right? And indeed, you have an amazing calling. I must applaud you once again. And one more question for you. How would we find you on social media in case somebody wants to reach out to help the children back in the village? How would we reach you out? Are you on any social media handle?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes, Children
It's okay.
and Youth Aid, or even just my name, Paul Ramses Oduor.
Okay.
And in fact, before I even go to that, let me
Yes.
tell you one more thing about the kids.
Yes.
The reason we brought them here is I played football myself.
Oh, you played football?
I played football for Utali, FC Leopards and Go.
Wow.
But then these kids are very talented. And I believe that if you're a mother,
Yes.
you're going to give birth to a child. That child must have can have a talent. That talent can go to propel you out of what.
Exactly.
We have a man called Usain Bolt.
Yes.
This guy runs only 9 seconds
Yes.
and is making millions.
Exactly.
What about ours?
Wow.
So we have to nurture talent as well.
It's the future of the children that you saw back in the village.
We
And
have
the
a-
challenges that you faced that really inspired you,
Yes.
that somebody else needs to get the
Yes.
opportunity and I mean, you saw future in the children,
Yeah.
and this is what you're doing. This is a great decision you did,
Thank
and I must encourage you that you do not give up at any time. I know challenges are there, things might not go our way, but the small you have, I'm sure it puts a smile on somebody's face, right? Yes, and whatever you do, God is saying.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, God
Thank
is
you
saying.
so
Do not
much.
give up at any
No.
given chance. Negativity is always out there, but like you said, transform negativity with positivity, and for sure things will work out. And if you have reached this far, you're going further. You are going further. Yeah, that is. I'm so touched. These are the kind of stories I like to hear. Like, yeah, touching souls. When I see a child smile out of a single transformation, no matter how small it is, believe me, it's a big change. And I know they are happy. They do appreciate.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know once you go there, you normally share your stories with them. They will see themselves in you.
Yeah.
And for sure, I know some of them, they aspire to do the same thing. And if the whole world can be like that, like you inspire to inspire someone, or you inspire to transform, it will be a great world. It will be a great world, I must say, yeah. And well, and I must say, like, I have really, this is one of my touching contents I have done. I think this
Thank
was
you.
God set up. It was not planned. I did not plan, but God had planned it.
Yeah.
And for sure, if you're watching this and indeed you feel like you want to reach out to Paul's charity, which is Tears Children and Youth Aid, it is, or you can visit the children back in Bondo. You can feel free to visit if you're somewhere around or you want to make a trip to Kenya and go to Bondo Tears Children and Youth Aid. We're gonna leave the social media handles. I'll leave the social media handles below so that you can reach them out and see what you can do to help the children and put a smile on their faces. Indeed, it was a pleasure meeting you, and I'm so grateful to meet you, Paul. And thank you for accepting to be on our YouTube channel. And for sure, we're gonna spread the good gospel. We're gonna spread the good gospel, and the good gospel has to touch somebody, because it is not in vain, but it is God's work. And for sure, everything gonna be well. Thank you so much, Paul, for your time, and continue doing the good work. All right, don't give up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, a Kenyan in Iceland.
You can't give up on your
And this
country.
is not your ordinary Kenyan in Iceland, by the way. This is a Kenyan doing God's work. This is a Kenyan making ends meet for the children back there. And I'm so touched by this story. So stay tuned. Let's keep this going. And I'm so excited for this. Let's go. So that was a great chat with Paul from my country, Kenya. See you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.